Hello and welcome to the Friday edition of Jewelry Outlook webinars. As members of the global jewelry fraternity, we know the potential of digital medium. As consumers, we have purchased products like books and mobile phones and so many other products. We have booked our airline tickets. We have made reservations for online reservations for restaurant. So as consumers, we know what digital can do for us. But when it comes to selling products online, only few of us have taken the next step forward. There are various reasons for it. So let's not go into it. Of course, we have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram page. Some of you also have a website, but very few of the websites are e-commerce enabled. So where we are lacking as a community is in the last mile connectivity to the consumer. So we have today with us two gentlemen. They are early adopters of digital technology. So let me introduce you to them. Mr. Shailen Mehta. Shailen Mehta is the founder, is the co-founder of eJohri. It is India's first and only marketplace for jewelers. Tejpal Ranka is a large format jewelry retailer who has a physical presence. They have 14 stores as well as a designer boutique by the name of Chosen by Tejpal Ranka. They also have a e-commerce enabled sites up and running for the last 4 years and have a online stores on eJohri platform. So we will have a conversation with both of them. But to begin with, I would now invite Mr. Shailen Mehta. He has made a wonderful presentation only for us. So he is going to take us through all the to-do things and what it needs to be go online. Here I would like to make a request to all of you that while you are going through the presentation, whatever questions you have in mind, please start typing them in the Q&A box. If you have comments, you type the comments on the chat box. So without further ado, now I invite Shailen Bhai to begin with his presentation. Over to you, Shailen Bhai.
Thank you.
Please share your screen.
Thank you, Anil Bhai. Thank you very much. Let me just share my screen and start my presentation. Can you see my screen, Anil Bhai?
Yes, we can see your screen.
And am I audible?
Yes, we can see your screen.
And am I audible enough?
A little low, so you'll have to be closer to your microphone, but otherwise we can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I would say namaste to all participants. As I understand, there are people from all different time zones across the world on this seminar, and I welcome you all. Let me introduce myself. I am Shailen Mehta, co-founder of eJohri, which is India's first omni-channel jewelry marketplace. So what does that mean? In simple words, it is an online marketplace platform where jewelers across India can list their jewelry products and market their products. And consumers across, not only in India, but across the world can see these beautiful products, research about them, compare them, and finally buy these beautiful pieces of jewelry sitting at the comfort of their home, or make a store visit and buy the products at the jewelry store. In other words, I would say eJohri is the Amazon of jewelry, but with the unique feature of O2O.
Yes.
Yeah, can you see my full screen now?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. So this is the most important slide in my presentation. We are all familiar with acronyms that we daily use in our business life, like B2B, B2C. These are all regularly used acronyms. But you know what? The most important and the most relevant acronym today for any retail jeweler is O2O. And let me explain you what is O2O. O2O is online to offline. It's omni-channel. And why do we need a O2O channel? While we all have our physical jewelry showrooms at a specific location, we are limited by the geographical limit for the reach of our consumers. What I mean to say is, let's say I have a retail store in Nagpur. Then my consumers are, let's say, spread across maybe near about Nagpur, maybe 5 kilometers, 15 kilometers near to Nagpur. And those are my consumers. But really, do I want to limit myself to these consumers only? Of course not. Because who knows? My consumer actually could be somewhere in Madurai, could be somewhere in Ludhiana, or for that matter, could be somewhere in New York or London also. And he or she is actually searching on the net for me. And if they don't find me on the internet, then honestly, they tend to forget me. So for any jeweler today to be relevant, you need to be on the consumer's mobile phone. Let me explain this whole phenomenon through an example of the automobile industry, because there is a lot in common between our jewelry industry and the automobile industry. So typically, how does our mind process when while we are all jewelers and being in the jewelry field, we are all consumers to different products, and car is one of them, correct? Now let's say when we are looking to buy a car, based on what happens, first is there is a requirement of a car, there is a need in our mind for the car, and we have a certain budget for it. But based on the budget, we might select a Mercedes, we might select a Toyota, or we might select a Maruti. That depends. 15 years back, I'm just taking the timeline to 15 years back. Let's say by 2000, 2005, what were we doing? We would physically go to a Honda showroom, we would physically go to a Toyota showroom, and we would actually interact with the salesman. The salesman would tell us about all the features about the cars, the different models and everything. We would understand them. Then probably we would talk with a few friends and finally decide on which car to buy. What is happening today? Today, while the first two things, the requirement and the budget, more or less, once again, are the same things. We have a requirement, we have a budget. But today's consumer is actually discovering everything about the car on an online channel. He is looking about all the features of the car on an online channel, understanding them, and then actually when he goes to the store, he goes to the store only for one reason, and that is for the final test drive. Because no matter, I mean, even if my closest of the friend or the family would have a similar car, when I am buying my own car, I would like to have a final test drive of the car. And actually, in that sense, jewelry and automobile industry have so much in common, because exactly like when we finally buy this, when we finally discover this car and actually go to the showroom, in the same way, we would like to, today's young consumer wants to discover the pieces of jewelry on an online channel. He wants to understand which are the different criteria, the different features about each and every piece of that jewelry. And finally, he actually wants to visit the store, because the look and the feel of the jewelry is the most important for all of us. We all understand that in jewelry, a woman would never be comfortable in buying a piece of necklace, let's say a 15 lakh, 20 lakh necklace. She will never be comfortable without putting it on her. And the only way to do it is that the whole thing can happen only at the store. So the whole connect is the online to offline. That the discovery is happening on an online channel, and physically the person goes to the store and would actually end up in buying that product or buying something else. So while the ticket items are more or less similar in the automobile industry, which is, let's say, between a 15 lakhs to a 50 lakh, in a similar way in jewelry also we have these higher ticket items, and all these higher ticket items will, according to us, will be sold only by an omni-channel platform. That is, the consumer will actually be researching online and then will be visiting the store to finally buy the product. So just to show that experience, this is the unique online offline connect. The consumer actually selects the product in the comfort of the home and then would visit the showroom because they have identified the product. For the jeweler also, it becomes very easy because the jeweler now knows that the consumer is looking for so and so product, and they can keep all those products ready. They can even keep some better products ready, so they have a good chance to actually sell more to the same consumer.
देखने में तो अच्छा लग रहा है, पर कैसा लगेगा?
मैडम, आपको बस अपॉइंटमेंट बुक करना है। वेलकम मैडम, आपके सिलेक्टेड प्रोडक्ट्स रेडी हैं। नो वेटिंग। थैंक यू मैम।
Book an appointment at your favorite jewelry store only on ejewelry.com.
I hope with this small commercial, it was very clear that this how much does this thing help for an end consumer who is researching online and then actually physically visiting the store. And just believe me, this small commercial that we made had more than 1 million views, and because of this commercial, there had been more than 350 store visits, wherein we got a registration from the consumer saying that they were visiting the store because they saw the product on ejewelry.com. So now that we have all understood the importance of e-commerce, let me just take you through some statistical facts of how e-commerce has grown in India. And this is across all products. This is not limited to jewelry. I'm just talking about all the products that are being sold on a Flipkart, Amazon, whatever different channels. So from a 14 billion US dollar sales that happened in 2014, it has already crossed more than 60 billion in the current year and is going to grow tremendously in the future. Now let's talk specifically about the jewelry industry, because that is what is more important to us. So in jewelry industry, we have all been we have been very, very late catchers of the online channel, I would say. In 2012, the total sales was limited to only 7 crores. From there, it has now crossed almost 3,000 crores. And probably by 2024, we are looking at a sales of more than 50,000 crores. Now, this is going to be huge, believe me. They are predicting that almost 20% of the total jewelry sales in India would be influenced by the online channels in just 4 years from now. So now we have all understood, and the figures clearly suggest that we have to come online, correct? Sooner the better. So let's understand how to create an online presence. Well, ideally, there are 2 ways to do it. One is to have your own website, and the other is to be present on a marketplace. Believe me, both are important. But being on a marketplace is far more important. And let me address this by taking an example now from an airline industry. So here, typically, I have opened a page from a Make My Trip, and I'm searching a Mumbai to Bangalore flight. And I'm getting all the options from different airlines like GoAir, Indigo, SpiceJet, Vistara. Okay. Now, based on my timings or whatever I have a preference to a particular airline, I would ultimately select an airline and I would finally go for it. Okay. Just think of a situation that Indigo Airlines thinks that they don't want to be on such a website. Just think of it. Do you think the flight tickets of this Indigo Airlines will be sold? Well, I don't think they will be. Correct? And I hope all of you understand what I'm trying to say. So while in an airline industry also, when there are only, which is limited to whatever number of airlines, we have maybe probably 10 airline companies in India, and still there are 4 to 5 big marketplaces. In jewelry world, we still don't have a marketplace, and eJewelry is here to be India's first biggest jewelry marketplace. And for us to be relevant today, we need to be on such a marketplace. Because if we are not available here, the consumer sort of kind of forgets us, and we lose their attention. So just comparing between own website to a marketplace, as I already told you that the presence definitely matters. On the same way, in the same way, I would say investment also is too high in trying to build up your own website, because there are huge setup costs, there are maintenance costs, there are operations costs which are too high compared to when you are on a marketplace, which are relatively lesser, I would say. And the most important thing is the marketing part, which I would say is the most difficult part for an individual jeweler to market his own website. And here on a marketplace like eJewelry, he gets a very good chance to market himself to the entire world. So now let me take you through some features of eJewelry. And here, as promised, as the title of this today's webinar, we are here to create your own e-com store in just 48 hours, in just 2 days. And eJewelry promises you to do that in just 48 hours. You can come online. And in today's situation, today's pandemic situation, we all know that we all require to be online. So once you are listed on eJewelry, your products would appear like this. I will take you to a typical page where we have the list of jewelry from different jewelers. And what does eJewelry do is that, unlike other bigger marketplaces like Amazon and Flipkart, where if you buy from Amazon or Flipkart, you just remember that you bought from Amazon. You don't remember who the seller is. But in jewelry industry, the jeweler is the most important person in the entire chain. And we firmly believe that as eJewelry. So what we do is that under every product, there is the name of the jeweler, his logo, and his city very clearly defined. So the consumer immediately is able to connect with the jeweler, because he knows that yes, so-and-so jeweler is, I know him from this, it is from this city, and the consumer is immediately able to connect with the jeweler. Now let me go to a typical product page on eJewelry. So here we have a product. Even on the product page, we very clearly show the name of the jeweler, his address and everything. The details of the product are also mentioned. And here, unlike all other marketplaces, what eJewelry does different is the consumer gets 2 choices. He can buy now, which he can do in any other marketplace. But the most important thing that we are doing as eJewelry is that he also can do a store visit. He can also press the store visit button, which actually engages him with the store. Immediately an email is sent to the store. The jeweler now knows that so-and-so consumer is looking for so-and-so product, and we arrange for that entire store visit to happen. So now when the consumer actually walks into the store, the jeweler is already aware that of the choices of consumer, and they can prepare products accordingly. Like if a consumer has selected such a ring, the jeweler knows that there could be some earrings also, which could be similar, and he can always push them to the consumer. Correct? As eJewelry, we are offering a lot of data analytics. Now, this is the most differential thing between what we are doing. So, like everybody is doing marketing on their own, correct? But while we are doing marketing, let's say we do newspaper ads, or we put a hoarding as jeweler. Let's say I am a typical jeweler in Indore, and in the center of the city I have a hoarding. Now there are 50,000 people who might pass on that road during the day. I don't know how many of them have actually looked at the hoarding, how many of them have actually known me. Even if 50 people enter the store on that day, how many people actually have come to the store because they saw me on that hoarding or on the newspaper ad, right? But with a digital experience, you can know everything. You know exactly from which area your consumer is coming. You know exactly what products your consumers are liking, which products they are comparing. So you have a very good chance to understand the need of the consumer, and you can actually create your merchandise accordingly so that you can stock accordingly, because you know that typically, let's say just to give you an example, that suppose there is normally as a jeweler I keep chains of 10 grams and 20 grams, okay? But suddenly on a marketplace like eJewelry, if there are inquiries of a 50-gram chain, that is where I come to know that such a product is actually being looked by so many consumers, but because I am not stocking it, nobody is coming to me for that. Now, if I know that already through e-commerce channels, I can immediately get those kind of merchandise ready with me, and that can actually act as a good sale for me. Correct? So through the data analytics that we are showing, there are just to give you an idea of that. You, as a jeweler, you understand the total number of visitors visiting your showroom, visiting your web page, visiting the new visitors who have come, the store views, and also and we also keep them engaged by understanding their wish list, their comparison, how many products have been added to the cart. All these things we as a jeweler come to know. If you are on eJewelry, you have a jeweler's app with you. You get a jeweler app, a eJewelry jeweler app, wherein you get all the details about this. So you know for sure that what your consumer is actually looking at. So today, as eJewelry, we are just to let you know all that we are available today. We have joined hands with 156 jewelers, who are having more than 250 stores and spread over 100 cities. And some of I would say all the well-known top jewelers have already associated with us. So you can already see all the top names who have already associated with us, including I would say Ranka Jewelers, who is also Tejpal Bhai, who is also on the panel. Okay, so now I come to the main part of the presentation, that we all have now understood that the need of the day is to come online. The need of the day is that we need to be a part of an e-commerce platform, and the need of the day is to be on a marketplace, right? So I would say, come on, everybody, start selling yourself, start selling online in just 2 days. And that's all the time required to digitize yourself. We have a very simple procedure. You just need to complete your KYC. Right now, in the times of lockdown also, even if you have some quality product images, even on your phone, you can send it to us. And with those products also, we can make you live. And once things open up after the lockdown, we can have a proper photo shoot of the rest of the products. We just need your brand logo and brand banner and everything. And just by these 3 steps, you are actually live on eJewelry. So in the next 48 hours, you can actually be live on eJewelry. And we are right now running a special offer because of the current situation, that we will not charge any AMC for 2 months. If you guys join, if anybody joins up before the 15th of May, we will not charge any AMC for the month of May and June. So I would just request everybody that come on and come and enroll on eJewelry ASAP. I'll just run through a small corporate video. Anil Bhai, is that okay?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Can you hear the voice?
No, I can't. We can't hear the voice. Sound, there is no sound. The volume needs to be, it's very low. Volume is low.
ज्वेलर के लिए ई कॉमर्स एक बहुत डिफिकल्ट सब्जेक्ट है, आसान नहीं है। एक अपना ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट बना के अपना माल लोकेशन, जब एक नेशनल लेवल का प्लेटफॉर्म बनता है ई जॉरी जैसा, तो ये नेशनल बाजार का सीन बना देता है।
And this concept of e-jewelry has been a fantastic one. It gives customers a wide variety to choose from, almost 18,000 designs that a customer can go and select from. Right from Kundan and all the things, right to a small coin. So that gives the customer comfort that whatever he or she is choosing through a wide range. Another positive point about e-jewelry is that a customer gets to choose online and also gets to see it himself or herself offline.
ये दिखने में तो अच्छा लग रहा है, पर मुझ पर कैसा लगेगा?
मैडम, आपको बस अपॉइंटमेंट बुक करना है। वेलकम मैडम, आपके सिलेक्टेड प्रोडक्ट्स रेडी हैं, नो वेटिंग।
I'm going to start now.
थैंक यू मैम।
लीजिए चाय।
अरे वाह, डायमंड ब्रेसलेट और जड़ाऊ नेकलेस। लगता है पूरा इंडिया घूम के शॉपिंग की है।
नहीं आंटी जी, बस ई जॉरी पे गई और पूरी इंडिया की ज्वेलरी घर बैठे ही मिल गई।
सच में?
Okay, thank you, Anil bhai, for allowing me to give this presentation. Before I end, I would just since Tejpal bhai Ranka is already there with us on the panel, what we did was we just did a case study of Ranka Jewellers Chinchwad store only on e-jewelry for the last 1 year. And the very interesting thing that we have noted is that there have been almost 1.25 lakh product views of different products of Ranka Jewellers. And more than that, what is more interesting is that the product views have come from so many different cities, which are there on the right side. And there are cities across India, and not only across India, but there are cities even in US and Singapore. So we don't know where our consumer is. That's the point that I was trying to make, and which is very much evident over here. So I would like to end my presentation over here, and I would say thank you to everybody for allowing me a chance to speak over here. If anybody on today on this show wants to join e-jewelry, you can immediately contact us, at bdm@ejewelry.com, or you can WhatsApp us on 91676 85665. You can note down these numbers, and immediately we will be, our marketing people will be at help to you, and we will make your stores live even in this lockdown. Okay, Anil bhai, I would just end my presentation over here.
Please stop sharing your screen, Shailen bhai. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I think it was a splendid, very crisp and very informative presentation from your side. There are so many questions that have been addressed to you, but before we take those questions, let us have a conversation with Tejpal bhai. Welcome, Tejpal. I will put you on the speaker view. Tejpal bhai, I have a question for you. You are a very proactive jeweler, and your online journey started 4 years ago. So during this lockdown, I'm sure all the physical stores are closed. So have you seen the activity? What kind of online activity have you seen from the consumers, considering the fact that though there is a lockdown, there is a big buying occasion on 26th of April, that is Akshaya Tritiya. So that is one question I have to ask you. And I will also ask a follow-up question so that you get more time to explain to us your journey from beginning till date. So the second question which I want to ask you is if you can share with us your journey, how the idea came to you, and what challenges you faced, what opportunities you saw. That is one part of the question, and of course the lockdown and the Akshaya Tritiya elements. So please begin.
So hello everybody. Thank you Anil sir. Thank you Shailen bhai for giving me this opportunity and speaking to everybody. Anil sir, I would just like to correct you a little. My journey of online is not 4 years back, but it goes to the year Y2K. It's my original journey started way back during the .com period. That's when that's the time when I put in a lot of effort, and we built our own website, and we went live. And as this was very new, it had excited me. I always wanted to have, I always wanted the first movers advantage. So we did succeed in this whole process. And we attracted a lot of new customers, domestic customers, national customers, and international customers. We got a lot of orders also. But I mean, due to the situation that time, fulfilling the national and international orders was a big challenge because of the logistics and the payment challenges that time. So the cost of hosting a website and versus the orders we would get, and we were not able to convert it because the logistic people, they were not allowed to carry precious metal, and there were not many payment gateways. So that's the time when the whole idea collapsed. Now again 4 years back, again after seeing the whole craze of online trade, where the whole next generation is going online, and we are seeing everybody wants to buy online, but jewelry has always been a challenge. Yet I felt the need of creating my own website and come up with an e-com startup. So it took a lot of effort. We put in a lot of effort, we put in a lot of money. But again, maintaining the website at our own level was becoming a little challenging, because offline again took away a lot of time of ours. So in this journey, I came across eJewelry, and I mean, I was really stunned that the kind of services eJewelry, the marketplace, they were offering. I think so, it was something which we always wanted. So eJewelry has played a very important role in. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah. Please.
So actually, eJewelry has played a very important role, and it has done wonders to my business.
Thank you, Tejpal bhai, for that.
Yeah. And when you spoke about what are the trends going on right now, so the trends which are going on right now, we see a lot of we see a lot of traffic on our sites right now, and because of Akshaya Tritiya being around the corner, and people being free, people sitting at home, we see people looking in for so like there are two type of consumers right now that we see online. One is we see is for the daily price point products, and the other we see is a lot of bridal research is happening. So maybe all the brides who are to be, they are researching what are the trends, what they can pair up with what. So this is what we've been noticing right now, and this is all from pure data and information from this is all the data from the researchers.
Now, specifically, if we talk about the Akshaya Tritiya business, because this is one occasion where even if people are not able to get the physical delivery, they would like to catch on because they would like to capitalize on that particular day. And many of the proactive jewelers, beginning from Tanesh or P.N. Gadgil or Malabar, most of the people have started that activity because they have a good online presence. Can you typically share what's going on at the moment as far as the Akshaya Tritiya occasion of buying is concerned?
So there are two things to it. First thing is that jewelry, gold, silver has proven itself. If we look, there is no commodity which has survived, but this commodity has survived the toughest of the times. So people yet have a lot of trust and belief in our product. And what we have done is just to keep the enthusiasm of the consumers alive. We have tried to promote jewelry, though it's not the apt time because people are suffering right now. But just to keep the little enthusiasm alive and to keep the enthusiasm alive, we've promoted investing in gold. We are so it's the easiest way to convince customers through your offers that please invest in gold and is the best investment. So this is what we've done right now.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the online sales and marketing, see, there are two aspects to it. One is to, of course, acquire new customers, and as well as the other aspect is servicing your existing clients. Now, Pune is such a place where there is a lot of traffic, people are busy, and especially in Pimpri-Chinchwad area, the parking issues. So I'm sure the kind of business you're doing online must be having a healthy mix of new customers as well as the existing customers. So can you throw a light on this aspect? Because when we talk to people on online business, they only think of acquiring new customers. Whereas the other aspect is the convenience factor to the existing customers. So I need your inputs on this.
So I'll give you a very simple example. There are a lot of times, even not during this COVID time, even if we go back, say a few months back from the time we've gone to e-jewelry, we've gone on the marketplace or we've gone online. A lot of customers who would ask, hey, we want this particular product. So we would tell them, you go online, you select whatever you like, you just call up, confirm that this product is surely available, it's not sold out during the day, and then we would confirm the price and we would just send the delivery, so the client is also happy, or the client would come over. But this has saved a lot of time. The customer is preset in his mind and he knows exactly what he wants. So this has made convincing the customer to another level, and we know that this is a sure shot customer. He's not somebody who's just come for time pass just to see or just to view. So yes, this has helped. So the omni-channel platform where the product is online and the customer comes offline, it's a great combination. I think so. It's a blessing in disguise.
Now, when we talk about online, definitely there are two ways of it. One is the discovery part. Customer discovers your product and he either books an appointment and comes to your store or buys online itself. So what has been your observation? What are the typical price points where a consumer ultimately buys the product, and what are the what is the percentage of customers who book an appointment and come to us?
So I think so the person who books, so this being my experience and it can vary from person to person, the customer who's booking an appointment is a fair serious customer. I mean, I don't think anybody has the extra time to just book and not turn up unless and until it's a serious issue. And when it comes to product category, we've had various experiences. So the regular price point is 40, 50, 60,000, a lakh maybe. But there have been instances where we've just put up a few high-end pieces. So there was an instance when we put up pieces worth 30, 35 lakhs. And we put up a few pieces on the marketplace, and some customer from nowhere who wasn't a regular customer of Aranka, he walked in, he wore the piece, he liked the piece, and he actually bought the piece. And with that, he ended up buying up a few more other pieces also. So this was just an additional sale for me, just without doing anything.
Okay, great. So now you have raised you shared a very interesting viewpoint. And mostly when we talk about online sales, we always have something in mind, a price range. Let's say up to $1,000 when it is an overship shipment, or maybe $500 a domestic shipment. But I was reading a very interesting article yesterday in the Daily Mail. So the story says that the restless rich today, what they are doing, they are splurging billions of dollars in buying diamonds. And there is an example given that Sotheby's has conducted 4 online auctions in the month of March. And to be, all of us will be surprised that they were able to sell 92% of the products that were listed for the auction. And not only that, they were able to command or get the prices which were 62% higher than originally estimated. So that is one aspect. Now, second aspect is there is an auction which is going to happen in this week of April from 24 to 28. And Cartier's Tutti Frutti bracelet has been listed. The price range expected is from $600,000 to $800,000. So, and I'm sure, considering what has happened in the online auction, that will also be sold. So the point what we want to make here is that online is the way to go, whether it is for low value product or a high value product. So if your product is not visible online, in consumer mind, it is not available offline also. That is one aspect. And the second aspect is a retailer, a jeweler who has got a heritage and track record of, let's say, 100+ years like Ranka. For these jewelers who have a trust, I think even higher price products will also be sold online. And I think that is a very good development for your designer jewelry boutique concept chosen by Tejpal Ranka. Do you agree or not? Okay. Now I have one last question. Yeah, please. You want to say something?
I would like to add a small point over here, that when you spoke about the legacy part, that a 100-year+ old company, now with today all the standardization norms with hallmarking, certification, third-party certification, I think so it's become very easy even for the smallest or the youngest of the jeweler to go online and showcase his creation, and the consumers know exactly what to check, what not to check, what are the quality standards. So I think so this is a best opportunity for every individual who's into this trade. And second thing, what I would like to add is it's at a very nominal cost. If you want to create a physical store, you'll need crores of rupees, and this is going to cost you. You're getting a best offer here, and going online is hardly going to cost you anything. So I think so nobody should miss this opportunity of going online.
Great. So that's a wonderful input. And one last question which I have for you. I was going through the slide which Shailen Bhai presented on your behalf.
Yeah.
I saw that some of your deliveries have happened to Singapore and also to US. So can you share that experience with us?
So you know, the whole process of exporting paperwork is a bit tedious if you really want to do it on your own. And then if you are doing it on your own, and if it's not a reasonable amount, you feel it's not worth putting in the effort. But with eJohri, the best part was it was just like handing over any other delivery, like any other delivery sending to Bombay or Delhi. It was as easy handing over a delivery sending to Singapore. So the whole process which is being set up by eJohri was a very seamless process. And so this has been my experience. So now it's about globalization, and the marketplace, they've taken it very well and they've made life easy for us. So now we can cater to any person to any corner of the world.
Great. So what I gather is, as far as the online medium is concerned, there is no geographical restraint.
Absolutely.
You can cater to any part of the world. That is number one. Secondly, it also shows that Ranka Jewellers has customers not only in India, but in the US and in Singapore also. So congratulations. Your inputs, I think all the attendees would have found very useful, and they will definitely fast track their plans of coming online. So thank you very much. And there are so many other questions for Shailen Bhai. So I would start my conversation with him. Shailen Bhai, please come on board. Yeah. So while there are so many questions, and most of them are quite obvious. So the first question which has been asked is about the designs. See, all the jewelers today are very concerned about their designs, because you know, design is one of the main factors which distinguishes a product from a jeweler to another jeweler. So many of the jewelers, and I think today's attendees also have asked a question, that what if I come on eJohri and my designs are copied? So do you have an answer for this question?
Okay, so let us understand today in with all the different jewelers having typically, let's say there are 20 showrooms in a typical a street, let's say in any city across India. If you actually visit all the stores, what you find is that 50 to 70% of the designs are more or less common, right? Now, those designs, there is no worry for anybody that there is going to be any copy of it. So those designs can at any point of time can be put on an online channel like eJohri. Now, every jeweler also has his own niche and is working in typically some high value products where he doesn't want to show the designs. So let's say, so I was just talking with Tejpal Bhai only like 6 months back, or probably I think 8 to 9 months back, Tejpal Bhai was also not ready to put his high-end designs on the website. And I told him that, sir, you already have like, let's say 100 designs of such high value, which are in the range of 15 lakhs to whatever, maybe till 1 crore or above even. Now, out of all these designs, probably you just need to keep maybe 5 designs or 10 designs on the website, so that the consumer starts knowing that these are the kind of designs that Ranka Jewellers is carrying, and that draws the consumer to the store. Now, once the consumer is in the store, you can always show the rest of the designs. You don't need to show everything on the website initially. For the initial phase, you can just show a few designs so that the consumer starts understanding the taste, starts understanding that these are the kind of designs that I'm carrying as a jeweler, and automatically the consumer gets drawn to the showroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during your presentation, I saw one slide where you mentioned that you are getting 150,000 visitors per month. So the audience would also like to know, what is the percentage conversion? Let's say if you're getting 150,000 visitors per month, how much, what percentage of the people buy online, and how many visit, how many book an appointment to and visit a jeweler? If you can share some.
So let me tell you, in the online world today, while we have the giants like the Flipkarts and the Amazons also working, a typical conversion ratio is always somewhere close to 1%. It is somewhere even lesser than 1% at times. So while we would have, let's say, when I'm saying 150,000 consumers coming on the website, typically there would be 1,500 who would actually turn out as customers out of it.
Hello.
Yeah. You had something more to ask me?
Yeah. So there was another question from the audience. They want to know what is the turnover eJewelry is doing, and how much turnover can a jeweler who comes on board can expect. This is related to the first question which I asked you. So if you need to put it in a different way.
So let's put it this way. eJewelry is just a 2-year young baby right now. So it is in the process of development. It is slowly, the figures are increasing month on month, year on year. Things are improving. Today there are not. It is not that I mean there are some very huge figures that I want to just just tell you. But definitely it is all improving upon. And the most important part is that it is not about the figures is not important. What is more important is, what I would say is that today we have to, this is the only option we have, that we have to be present on an omni-channel platform so that the consumers actually visualize over here and then can finally come to the store, right? So whether it actually terminates into an online sale or not is not really important, but such a marketplace can be used as your biggest marketing platform also.
Okay. Another question is, how do you intend to market your platform to ensure that it gets good visitors, which will ultimately lead to conversions?
So we will be in our journey ahead. Until now also, we have done a lot of marketing. I showed you some 2 ads also in my presentation, and both these ads had been running right from Diwali till December. They were running live on Facebook, Google, Instagram, and all other digital platforms. And we will, as and how in our journey ahead, we will keep on increasing this on a multifold level. So marketing will improve on a quite a much higher level.
Okay. So a lot of people have expressed their consent to open an online stores on eJewelry platform, and that should be a music to your ears. But they want to know, what does AMC mean? And so they basically want to know the commercial. So if you would like to share with the attendees.
So it is not at all expensive to come on a platform like eJewelry. To be very honest, it is just the AMC means an annual maintenance charge, which is for eJewelry right now they are charging 50,000 rupees. But they can individually talk with our marketing guys and can understand all the other commercials of how the transactions are being charged and everything. They can all understand it independently on a case-to-case basis. Currently, right now, for the 2 months right now in this pandemic situation, what we have done is, for the month of May and June, we are not going to charge anybody any AMC. So if they enter before the 15th of May, if they register themselves before the 15th of May, for the month of May and June, we will not charge any annual charge. So that the year actually will start from 1st of July.
Okay. So you have addressed that annual maintenance charges issue. Now, in order to keep yourself updated with the technology, what are your plans for augmented reality and the photo app that you have mentioned on your presentation slides?
So good question, Anil bhai. So yes, as the journey of eJewelry goes ahead, we will slowly introduce one by one. We are going to introduce a lot of technological innovations because eJewelry is finally a technology company, right? So there are going to be a lot of technology innovations that will keep on coming. One very interesting thing, as you said, is the photography app. As soon as the lockdown gets over, we will be all the jewelers who are on eJewelry will get a photography app on their mobile phone. They will be able to shoot a product with their iPhone and actually with the next button upload it on eJewelry. So the entire digitization cost we are going to the jewelers. It will be a very easy journey for all the jewelers. That's a huge development that we have done in this lockdown period, to be very honest. And regarding the augmented reality, yes, we will also bring that in. We are working behind it right now, and very, very soon that also will be coming. But augmented reality, to be very honest, is more like a wow factor. I know some companies are trying to market augmented reality on a big scale, but believe me, for a consumer, what is more important is finally at the end of the day, the product should be perfect. Whatever they see on the website, they should actually get that kind of a product.
Okay. So people also would like to know your journey as an entrepreneur, because most of the startups, it takes a very long time for them to turn profitable. So when do you expect to become profitable? You also have received some funding round. So how are you keeping your investors happy? This is more from the business point of view, and there have been some questions. So feel free to express your views on this.
Okay. So let me, tell you that on the path that eJewelry is in pretty soon, we will also turn profitable also, because there are a lot of technology development that we are actually doing right now. Right now, we are spending a lot of money on developing all the technology that the jeweler typically needs. A jeweler independently is not in a position to create all those things on his own. So we are going to help the jeweler in creating that entire needs. We are creating a lot of data analytics and a lot of other things that will actually help the jeweler in his journey moving ahead. So just to give you a very simple example, that today, let's say to sell 1 kg of gold, you need to minimum have around a typical jeweler, and I think Tejpal bhai would also agree, is that you will need minimum 7 kilogram of gold in your showroom to sell that 1 kg of gold. Correct, Tejpal bhai? Am I right?
Absolutely.
Right. Now, just to understand, till now, stock holding gold had always been to the advantage of every jeweler. But if we are able to somewhere, through the technology, direct the jewelers to a stage wherein rather than holding to that 7 grams of gold, even by holding on to 6 grams of gold, they can still do the same sale. What I'm trying to tell you is that improve the turnover ratio. And how does that happen is through getting more and more knowledge about their products, understanding more and more what the consumer is looking at, and that gives because today any jeweler would have minimum, at least I would say anywhere around 25 to 30% of stock, which could ideally be called as a dead stock, because it might have not moved over even a period of 1 year. Now, through all the data analytics and everything that we are building up, jewelers associated with eJewelry will get all this knowledge, and that will ultimately help them in reducing all this dead stock, and that will ultimately lead to better profitability for all the jewelers as well.
So one last question, the post-pandemic, what is your outlook for the online jewelry business? Because I'm sure you must have made some projections before the pandemic and nobody was aware that such a thing is going to happen. So you must have made some calculations on a conservative basis, but post-pandemic, when the new reality is digital, what is your outlook for the next 1 year? Because now next quarter, I'm not very sure whether business is going to pick up. But if you take the 1 year horizon, what is your outlook?
Honestly, right now, it is even not, I'm not even looking at post-pandemic. Even I'm looking just 3 days from now, which is Akshaya Tritiya. And even for Akshaya Tritiya today, while every showroom across India is closed, we have more than 10 jewelers who are associated with eJewelry have already started putting their banners on eJewelry, wherein they want to market their products to the consumers. So this Akshaya Tritiya also we are hoping that a lot of sales would actually happen on eJewelry platform, wherein the consumer will be able to book the gold at the current price and then finally take the delivery of the product only after the lockdown is over.
Oh, great. So I think
just to add one more point, Anil bhai, an average consumer normally spends around let's say around three to 4 minutes typically on a marketplace website. In this time right now, we are finding consumers who are spending more than 10 to 12, average consumer time spent on the website currently on eJewelry is around 10 to 12 minutes. And there are people who are even looking for more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours continuously on the website. So this gives us a lot of idea that consumers are actually looking, even right now while we are all at home, consumers are looking at us.
Okay. So my last question for the session is consumer today looks at a seamless experience. So the value chain, it comprises of not just the B2C element, which is the retailer jeweler, but also the B2B or the manufacturer. When we spoke last week, you had some plans of integrating the B2B manufacturer also in the value chain. So would you like to share some thoughts?
Yes. So while eJewelry.com is a B2C website, we are also making in the backend a B2B website where all the jewelers who will be on eJewelry.com, we will be connecting them in the backend to the manufacturers who mainly are in Mumbai or Jaipur or Kolkata or wherever. So we will be connecting these manufacturers to these jewelers, wherein typically on that website, on the B2B website, the jewelers will be able to see the products, the new products manufactured by the manufacturers, select those products and do the entire deal on an offline channel. And finally, as soon as they confirm those products can be immediately listed on eJewelry.com main website, the B2C website, in the jeweler's name. Because as eJewelry.com, we will never allow any manufacturer, we will never allow any person who is trying to do business from home. Those kind of things will be never allowed on eJewelry. eJewelry.com will always have jewelers who have a good retail presence in this country.
So while going through the questions, I think there are two important questions have been raised, and those are the commission structure. How much margin does a jeweler have to pass on to eJewelry? That is one question. And secondly, what is the return policy? So these are the two last questions. After that, I think we'll close for the day.
So for any sale that happens on eJewelry.com on the online website, we typically charge 4% on gold jewelry and 7% on diamond jewelry. Now, this is only for sales made online. For any sales that are made actually online where the customer has swiped the credit card and actually bought the product. But eJewelry, what is eJewelry? eJewelry is going to actually help increase the footfalls at the stores. And for all those footfalls that are going to happen at the store, that is the offline sales. What I mean is the offline sales, people doing the research and discovery on eJewelry and then going to the stores, we are not charging anything. Because that is what eJewelry stands for. We want to increase the footfalls of the jewelers, and there the jeweler has a very good chance wherein the consumer actually will be looking at a product over here and then would go to the store and would find the jeweler who has a captive customer, and he has got all the chance to actually increase his sale and convert him into a bigger item or sell additional items.
And return policy?
Okay, so return policy for an online transaction that happens on ejewelry.com, we have a no question asked 7-day return policy. If the consumer is not happy with the product, the consumer returns back the product and the same is returned back to the jeweler. For an offline sale, it is definitely, it is already bought at the jeweler's place and the entire transaction is between the consumer and the jeweler.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Mehta and Mr. Ranka, for your time, and your inputs have been really very informative. And I think attendees are also very pleased with the answers. I think most of the questions we have already addressed in this session, but the questions which we have not addressed will be definitely answered on the Jewelry Outlook website. So you have been a lovely audience, and only thing I could say as a parting shot is the fact that let your online journey begin with a bang with the help from eJewelry. You have been a lovely audience. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.